Welcome to our Raw Coaching Power Hour. Thanks for coming to hang out with us today. Some of you will be familiar with who we are. Some of you might not. You might have got sent this link from someone at work and gone, okay, I'll turn up to that because it looks interesting. So I'll very quickly introduce who we are at Raw Coaching. So who we are. Raw Coaching, we're a leadership development company. We create environments. We develop leaders who create environments where everyone thrives. I think that's really important. The leaders in business or sports teams or community groups have a huge impact on what that environment is like, how welcoming it is, the version of people that we get. And then if that is a healthy, warm, inclusive environment, we're going to get more from people. We're going to do more cool stuff. Often leaders are not given the skills or training to develop into the leaders that they could be. So that's what we do. So we develop those leaders in three ways. We run leadership development programs. We do one-on-one coaching with leaders in business and in sport and in not-for-profits. And also we do team coaching or culture work as well. So that is who we are. That is why we're here. And a power hour, which is today. Why do we offer a power hour? 1 hour, once a month. And it's our way of delivering some free, cool, useful content into the community. So you've probably got a stack of books beside the bed. You've probably got a list of podcasts you want to listen to. You might get to those sometimes, you might not. Hopefully this is a way that you can turn up for an hour. You do as much thinking as you want, but receive some content that's tangible, useful, that's going to help you in your lives. And so we're very lucky today to have Britt Madley from The Gratitude Habit with us today. Britt is a friend of Raw's, so I've personally known Britt for about 9 years now. Came to a workshop, Britt, many years ago, then became a client, and we did some one-on-one work together. And Britt was like, I reckon I can help you. You need some help, brother, from a marketing space. So yeah, Britt, we've worked together for a number of years now in the marketing space. So the Raw you see today, Britt's had a massive input into what that looks like. So dear friend of ours, awesome to have you. So Britt's no longer working with Raw in a formal capacity. So awesome to have you with us in this space. And Britt has set up something called The Gratitude Habit, which is just, I think, a really cool initiative that's really needed out there. And today she's going to talk about fight, flight, or freeze. So what happens to our bodies, what happens to our brains when we live in this modern world where we're trying to do lots and lots of things, and also some tools that will help us in our lives on a daily basis. So Britt's going to share a little bit of the science and behind what's going on with us, but also, yeah, share some topical tools or some tangible tools with us. You're not going to be talked at the whole time. We run a reasonably informal environment. If you have a question, I'm quite happy if you find a gap, while Britt's talking, take your mic off and just ask. We're all good with that. However, if you want to, if you're not quite that brave, what I'll get you to do is in the chat, message Amy Spitzer. So sorry, Amy's part of our Raw team as well. She's our ops manager and makes it all work. Holds it all together, but send Amy a message, and she might be a little bit braver at interrupting Britt or waiting for a space in her corridor to go, oi, Andrea's got a question, so please do that. Other full confession, I'm not proud of it. My power cord is busted and my battery is on 37%. So I might be here for like the first half of the call. But if I'm not here at the end, thank you for joining us. But Britt and Amy will wind it up. But without further ado, I'll hand over to Britt. Thanks for being here, Britt.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. And before I go full launch into the slide share, I'll introduce a little bit about me and a little bit about Gratitude Habit. But I'm Brittany Madley. I whakapapa Kirikiriroa, so born and bred Hamilton girl. And yeah, as Andrew said, worked in the marketing and comms space for the most of my career, and have more recently branched out into what we're calling mind management. So we run the Gratitude Habit, which does mind management programs for individuals and teams. And today we're going to give you a snippet of some of the work that we do. And I'm really excited because this piece of work is so close to my heart. I have been that cool type A personality that completely went all corporate, all in, and burnt herself out at a really young age, and hit really rock bottom mental health wise. And so, being the curious learner, investigator that I am, I really wanted to understand why that happened and what my brain was doing in that space. So by no means am I a clinical psychologist or any form of letters after my name, but I have got a good amount of background of working with a lot of humans and understanding my brain and other humans' brains. And I bring this to you from a deep heart of research and personal experience. So I hope that you enjoy today. I hope that in the next sort of 45 minutes or so of content, you get something out of it. And as Andrew said, drop a question in the chat to Amy, drop it to me, raise a hand, whatever works. Keep this really informal and conversational. And if there's a conversation that you want to take offline after, that's cool too. So, all right, I will share our content for today. Just pre-warning, I am quite a geek, but I'm not going to go too deep with you today. So I hope that helps. All right. All right, so we've titled today's Power Hour, Fight, Flight, or Focus, with an insight into understanding your nervous system. So as we started creating the work that we do in the Gratitude Habit space, we became really aware that the simple understanding of nervous system was kind of missing from most of our lives, which is probably why we operate mainly in one of our nervous systems, which you'll find out soon. So just really quickly in the chat, have you had much understanding of your nervous system? So just a yes or a no. Like if you know what parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system mean, that's probably a yes. If you're like, yeah, kind of no, it's probably a no. Just so that I get a really good understanding of where we're at and who's in the space. Awesome. We got a no, we got a yes, we got a kinda. I like that, Katie. No, yes, awesome. Okay, so it'd be really interesting for those who have got a yes. Hopefully you're going to go, oh, cool, this is just a beautiful reminder. There might be some fresh new content. There might be some fresh ideas of how to combat and conquer in those spaces. And for those of you who have no idea, you're about to have your cup filled up, hopefully in a way that's super tangible. So here we go. All right, so this is really close to my heart. I think all of these have always been on in my space, and I'm still a work in progress, right? I think just because you deliver this work and because you're in this work doesn't necessarily mean that you've aced it all. We are all human after all, and it's probably good for all of you to remember that as well. So does anybody in this space, and maybe just give me a raise of hand because I can see a few of you on the screen, feel like they've constantly got more than 3 or 4 tabs open at any one time? Like just more than 3 or 4 tabs. Okay, cool. All right, a couple of you. Right. And what about the to-do list? Do you feel like the to-do list is one of those things that you really, really want to finish and it just never ends? Does anybody feel like that? Has anybody got like a little like, please just let there be nothing on there and then I might rest? Right? Okay, cool. Yep, know the feeling. Anybody got a good caffeine addiction or good reliance on caffeine? Like I'm a caffeine junkie, so yeah, cool. And then cortisol. I truly believe that you can become dependent and addicted to cortisol, which is our stress hormone. And this is where I think I found myself, and I've found that many others are there too, because we live and we thrive on that cortisol and adrenaline and like almost love being in the stress zone because our body finds it familiar, right? So some of that might be hitting the spot for you. That might be like, yeah, okay, I need to listen to this chick. All right. So what it usually means when we've got all these tabs open at once and when we've got, I know, this never-ending to-do list and all these desires to fill it, and we've got cortisol running through the body and we're fueled with caffeine, is that our parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous systems are at war. So we're really not specifically telling those 2 main nervous systems that we operate with, this is your turn and this is your turn. They're both fighting for space within what we do and how we are in our everyday life. And we want to move them to being in a space where they can work together. And so I just really want you to like really screenshot that in your mind. Is my parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system at war? And you're going to find out more about what on earth that means in a second. Or are they going to be working together, or are they working together? All right. So we're going to take a little dive into a bit of definition stuff. All right. Can you just like wave across your screen so that I haven't bored you too much yet, just to make sure you're still there? Yeah, cool. We're good. Yeah, we're good. Andrew's like, not sure I'm going to wave at her. Oh, good. All right. So your parasympathetic nervous system, the easiest way to remember it is the P for parasympathetic sits with peace and pause. So that peace symbol, pause symbol, parasympathetic. Cool. So if you haven't got those ones down, you'll have it down hopefully by the end of this. It's really about calming your body. It's about when we're asleep, we're in our parasympathetic, but it's our rest and digest, it's our slow down, it's our breathing's normal, it's we're not excitable, we're not filled with cortisol, we're not requiring oodles of caffeine. And its job is to keep you healthy in a way, to decrease your blood pressure, decrease your heart rate, and get everything operating really normally on a physical level in your body. Really important part, really important part. This is actually where you digest food. So if you're constantly operating in these high, crazy sympathetic nervous system cortisol spaces, you're probably going to gain weight in the form of fat because your body is not going to actually digest things when you're operating all the time in your sympathetic speed up nervous system. So the parasympathetic promotes relaxation, promotes recovery, and reduces your energy expenditure. So with all of that being said, we're going to have a chat about how much time you're spending there in a minute. On the opposite side of this, we have our sympathetic nervous system. And this is something that our humanly, we have moved closer and closer to operating in here almost full time. Not when we're asleep, but it seems that many people, particularly anybody like you guys, attending a call like this, learning and growing and wanting to be in the leadership zones or understanding these things, you're probably some form of motivated, otherwise you wouldn't be here. You're probably often in that stress speed up place in your nervous system. Now, firstly, it's not wrong to be there. I think it's really important to understand that if you've found yourself here too often, great, as long as we've got awareness, we can sort that out. But it's not wrong to be here. You'll actually make progress in life if you sit here. It's really, really important. What's important is to make sure that it's not affecting your health. So our sympathetic nervous system really supports us to face threats or challenges. And they could be threats or challenges at work. They could be going to the gym and lifting weights. They could be, I've got a funny picture on the side of a robber, right? They could be, the threat of the fact that you've got to get so much work done. So we really need that nervous system speed up. You can't go into work and like a meditate, well, you could, but it might not get you the results you need, in a meditative zone and hope to achieve a whole lot of stuff. You've really got to flick these nervous systems into the spaces you need to use them. So its job, it increases the heart rate and blood pressure. It increases your breathing rate. So just maybe drop it in the chat, a yes or a no, if you're open to being super honest with me. Have you ever found yourself not breathing or breathing very, very shallowly? So yes, if you're like, oh yeah, sometimes I catch myself and go, anybody found that? Yep, Pete, yep, Amy, yep, cool. Yeah, awesome. Thanks for your honesty, team, because it's human. And as long as we can be aware of it, we can begin to shift it and we begin to understand, oh, my sympathetic nervous system's in overdrive. My breath has been sped up to the point that I didn't take a breath. Right. This is a really important piece of our nervous system here. If we didn't operate in our sympathetic, we wouldn't actually release glucose for energy. So you need that for making your brain work for work. You definitely need it if you're exercising, running, walking, all the things. And we definitely need the increased blood flow to our brain and to our body. All right. So when we take this into practical discussion points, if 30% of our 24-hour day is hopefully asleep. I'm hoping you get that much sleep. I mean, that would be all lovely if we all got 8 hours sleep. Then that's operating in our parasympathetic. Then during our waking hours, what percentage are you spending in each nervous system? And sure, this is a question for now, but it's also a question for you to sit with and hold on to after we leave this space. Because when we can start to get curious about, wow, okay, I've got, 70% of my day to work out where am I? 70% of my 100% is because we've taken away the 30% of the sleeping time, right? We've got 70% left to work out how much am I in stress and speed up mode? Okay, if you're going to the gym and lifting weights, you need to be in that zone. So therefore, it's not always bad. How much am I in peace or pause? If that full 70% from the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep is go, 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 rush, 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 got to get this done, feeling really chaos, everything's crazy, phone's going off, you're not likely to live a long life. The stress in your cells is not going to be helpful, right? And so all this conversation is doing is creating an awareness of how do we flick that so that we've got 10, 20, 30% coming into that sympathetic, right? And in saying that, you don't want that to be 50-50, right? Unless you're like a monk or somebody who's operating as a yoga teacher or something like that. You really still need a higher percentage of stress speed up. If that made anybody relax, just give me a nod. Yeah, yeah, felt that. Right. So it's not a bad thing. Okay. But what the heck do we do when we find ourselves in these like, okay, I'm in this frantic mode and I just don't know how to get out of it. And everything's going fast because we know that momentum creates momentum. And when we speed up, it gets faster and faster, right? So what do we do to interrupt it? Well, from the gratitude habit space and from the research we've done and all of the things that gratitude as a habit links into and breathing as a habit links into, we have decided that part of what we create and deliver in any space we go to, and I encourage you to implement this in your teams, implement it in your home, is a 60-second circuit breaker, right? So if you have wiring in your house that's fritting out, you'll go and touch the circuit breaker, right? Not common unless you're an electrician, but you get where I'm going with the metaphor. So having this circuit breaker just means you can go, okay, I can feel like I'm in speed up mode. The wiring in my circuits are on full noise. I need to break the circuit so I can reset the momentum to a different pace. Are you with me? Yeah, cool. All right. So why does it work? Why does breaking the circuit for 60 seconds work? I mean, most of you are probably like, she doesn't need to tell me this. I know that breathing works. I just don't do it, right? Yeah, okay. So I truly believe that when we know why, we start to actually implement active change in our life. But when we just go, oh yeah, I should be breathing and I should be having a habit of gratitude and I probably should be drinking water. If we don't have a conviction as to why we should be, and by conviction, I mean by being really convinced, if we don't have that, it's really hard to justify even putting that into our day. And so my secret hope, which I'll share with you, so it's no longer a secret, is that you leave here today thinking, I'm just going to find 60 seconds to break the circuit today. Like if you did that, I'd be stoked. If that was the outcome of this call, that would make me super happy. So why does proactively breathing for 60 seconds help? Wow, funnily enough, it's one of the key things to activate your parasympathetic. So if you're in stress mode and speed up mode and crazy mode, and you go into 60 seconds of breath, everything shifts. It lowers your heart rate and blood pressure far quicker than medication is going to. And it improves your emotional regulation. So if there's an emotional cause, be it work, be it stress, be it a difficult conversation that you need to have at home or at work, use this, right? So Andrew, just curiously, in the work that you're doing out in the field with leaders, what are you noticing when it comes to, you enter a space, you might have, I don't know, 10, 15, 20, depending on the workshop you're delivering, leaders sitting in a space. What are you noticing from a like I don't know, a stress perspective? Is there feedback around that out there?
Everything you said in the introductory piece about that percentage of operating in the sympathetic, was it? Would be super high, just going hard the whole time. And I would say a lot of us operate on autopilot a lot. So not really that conscious of some of these things you're talking about today. We just go, 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 go. We might feel anxious about something, but not really stop to think why, and then not stop to think, can I do anything about it? Like this is very practical that I'm sure we could all use. Yeah. Everyone's going too hard. Everyone's going, I mean, yeah, we're living very, very full lives.
Yeah. And and this is just an observation of mine, but it almost feels like those who are motivated enough to become the leader or to attend a call like this are the ones who are in that speed up mode, right? They've got there because they've been in that massive progress, massive speed up. And there may almost be, and you're the expert in the leadership realm, so correct me in here, but there may almost be this, well, if I slow down, will people think I'm lazy? Will people think I'm no good? And it's not necessarily about slowing down. It's about finding a gentle balance between having these quick circuit breakers to bring the nervous system back into balance while still being that kick-ass leader that you want to be.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes I don't think you can avoid the hustle. You know, like you can still be ambitious and you want to go get it. These are practical tools to help you get there, I guess, with a bit more peace and health. Yeah.
Nice.
Like it.
And I think for me, where this 60-second circuit breaker helps is I love to squeeze every minute out every day. There's a part of me that wants to just go be a yogi and live at the beach. And there's this part of me that's like, you are corporate through and through. And it's like getting those two parts of me to balance is really well done in using something like the 60-second circuit breaker. So I want you to all take stock of how you're feeling right now. You might have rushed to this call. You might have had a crazy full week. We've just had 2 short weeks, and often that means that the week afterwards is mental. But anybody give me like a little nod if that's been true for you? It's been a bit mental. So even getting here today, like well done, because it takes a bit to put these things into your diary and actually make sure you arrive. We're going to take 60 seconds together to breathe. And you can choose how this looks. I don't care if you turn your camera off. I don't care if you shut your eyes. I don't care if you keep them open. I just want you to focus on breathing in through the nose if it's not blocked for winter already, and breathing out through the mouth deeply. Nice, big, deep breaths. And I want you to take notice of where you're at right now and how you feel after 60 seconds. Because giving you this practical application and feeling of what 60 seconds does may just be enough to convince you to try it again one time. Cool? All right, so I'm going to hope that this next slide plays some music for you. And in fact, I'm feeling like, hopefully it does. Yep, my sound has been shared. And we're going to just breathe for 60 seconds, okay? Easy as that. So just a question for anybody who's keen to mic up and have a chat. Did you notice anything different, or do you feel the same?
Clears your head, doesn't it?
And yeah, definitely. It's like How can it be that easy? How could it just be like, I just need to pause for 60, not 15-minute meditation, just 60 seconds. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Any notice things, Andrew?
Very relaxing. Probably could have fallen asleep.
Good, in 60
Mm.
seconds, you did well. All right. And we can get better at dropping into that that parasympathetic, right? So well done, Andrew. You dropped in really good. So what I want to encourage you is that it doesn't take hours to turn that parasympathetic nervous system on. And, you know, in 60 seconds, as Katie said, it's cleared her head. It just relaxes you. And so I guess having a think about where could you put this in your day? Like, where could this be something that you trial? So whenever I talk about these things, I'm just saying, just trial it. Just test me out on this theory. Because I've got people who've done our workshops and they're doing this every day now, whether it's on the way to work in the car, whether it's after they've dropped kids at school, whether it's before they step out of the car to work. It could be go to the bathroom. You've just had a really hard conversation and focus 60 seconds on breathing. Don't take your phone, just focus 60 seconds on breathing. Like, it doesn't take much to find 60 seconds to put this into your day. So my question to you all in the chat, if you're willing to give it a crack, where could you put this into your day? Where is one place that you're like, okay, if I just slowed down for 60 seconds, I could do that just before I walked into work, or I could do that as I pull in the driveway home, or I don't know, if you have to pick kids up, whatever. Where could you do that? Yeah, in between sessions. Nice, Andrew. Yeah, waiting for the jug to boil. That's a really good one, Amy. Like, most of us will grab a coffee or a tea during the day. Instead of being on our phone or trying to do 500 other things or whatever, what if you just breathed? Go outside the office at lunchtime. Nice, Katie. So, like, making that really intentional, 60 seconds of breath. Pete, I love that. Anywhere, everywhere. So I would, on the morning drop, nice, Grant, drop the kids off, generally done a reset once I arrive at the office. Yeah, because changing state from being a parent, I got a 2.5-year-old, to being in the work zone is like, I've got to have some form of circuit breaker to split that up, right? So my encouragement to you is to pick a time tomorrow. And yeah, it's the weekend tomorrow. So it's going to be like, oh, that's not in routine. That's the whole point of it. Pick it. Yeah, honestly, Andrew, I do it with my son all the time. So 2.5-year-old, and I'll say, okay, we're going to breathe now. And he'll go, I need a video. It's hilarious. Be a great little social media post. But he knows, because I teach this stuff in the work we do. Yeah, just getting them to calm down, because they need it as much as we do. And you can imagine if you're teaching the kids from 5, 6, 7, even 2, that it's probably a bit of an odd one, but that's okay. It's my son, so he's going to be odd. We're going to have different forms of adults, right? Because if we all knew at school how to breathe better, things might have been different. All right, I'm checking the time. Make sure we're not going crazy over. All right. Okay. Now, what else can really help us reset, right? So we've got 60 seconds of breath. Cool. You've now got another tool in your kitty, in your toolkit. And what else can do this? Well, I'm sure we've all got our own little vices. Could be wine, could be gin. Who's a gin drinker? Yeah, no, yeah, cool. Got a few. All right. Rum, something else, whiskey, I don't know, anything. Wine could be chocolate. So actually, wine and chocolate, they do actually help your parasympathetic nervous system. So next time you have a glass of wine or a glass of gin and you're like, it's just helping with parasympathetic, it's okay. That's legit. There's science behind it. That's fine. Chocolate actually stimulates things. So dark chocolate, but specifically, like if you really want to calm your nervous system, having a piece of dark chocolate is not a bad idea. Now you're talking. Yeah, well, there had to be some cool content in there, right, Andrea? All right, coffee is not going to help your parasympathetic nervous system. What that does is put you into overdrive. However, we often turn to coffee to think it's going to help us, right? So when I say what can help us, is often the things we think are going to help us. All right. Just so happens that alcohol and chocolate do. So coffee is something that if you are in overdrive, sometimes it feels like the only thing that's gonna help. It's probably one of the worst things you can do when you're in your stress speed up nervous system, because you're just going to throw everything into super overdrive, right? Sometimes it can help you focus and get more done, but really you're probably better to do the 60-second breather. Now, one of the things that our brain thinks helps, is not your guys' fault, the brain has tricked you on this one, is time in the scroll hole. Right? So we think, oh, I just need to relax for a minute, lunch break, whether it's before work, whether it's whatever. We go into this mind-numbing doom scroll. Who is guilty of that? Yeah, cool, okay. It's become this new age vice of exiting whatever's in our mind. Okay, so rather than going, okay, I'm just going to breathe, we go, I'm going to scroll and I'm going to see stuff that other people have got, these blooming lives and sponsored ads and all this stuff, right? It's not going to help. Okay, it might calm your nervous system for a little bit, but what it's doing to your dopamine, so your happiness receptors, is going fake dose of happiness, fake dose of happiness. It's not actually pulling you into your parasympathetic. Pick up a book, sit and breathe. Pick up a coloring pencil, pick up a pen and write some stuff down. Just leave the phone alone when you're in that super high drive mode. It is not what you should be scrolling right before bed to relax you. There's a bit of like a teaching moment, but you'll get over it. Okay, what else can work? Lo and behold, the name of our company, Gratitude Habit. So really, what we wanted to do with Gratitude Habit was to just teach gratitude. We realized that we had to convince people gratitude was a good idea before they'd listen. So hopefully I've done enough to explain to you that gratitude is going to support what we've been talking about today. And having a really simple habit of gratitude can really help with your parasympathetic nervous system and getting there quicker, right? So Andrew dropped into almost a state of wanting to sleep, right? And from what I know of working with Andrew for many, many years, is Andrew is actually a really grateful guy. He can go there quickly. So what are you grateful for, Andrew? He'll be able to have something quite quick. A lot of people find it difficult to fire those parts of the brain because they haven't fired them. It's like if you were to walk into a gym and you hadn't been there in years, perhaps never been there, and you walk up to the weights rack and you go, I'm going to pick up the 20-kilo dumbbells. What's going to happen? You're not going to be able to do it. And so gratitude's a bit like that. You need to create the strength to do it. And when we create the strength to do gratitude slowly but surely, we also create this incredible strength to drop really quickly into our parasympathetic nervous system. Who would like to be stronger at dropping in there quicker? Yeah, me too. All right. So my question for you all in the chat, what is gratitude? Or even on the mic, if anybody wants to say something on the mic, what is gratitude? Like, what does that even mean?
Being mindful about the small things and appreciating them, as well as the big things.
Nice, Katie. Being mindful about the small things and appreciating them. That's awesome. Being thankful and having self-awareness. Nice, Andrea. Appreciating what we have, right? And all of that sounds really simple until someone says, so do you have a habit of gratitude? And then you're like, what does that mean? What does that look like? How do I do that? Noticing the glimmers. Nice, Nicola. Small and normal and good things, right? It's so true. Like the fact that you can just go to the tap and run a glass of water. When's the last time you really deeply thought about, I'm so grateful that this just comes out the tap? A lot of us don't go there. A lot of our brains don't go there. And so we're so busy going, I've got to get a drink of water, got to do this, got to do this. It's like, just get present. Bring that parasympathetic into your day in little spurts, and you'll all of a sudden feel this nervous system settle. So going back to that gym analogy, gratitude is like a mental gym session for your prefrontal cortex, so the front part of your brain. Believe it or not, good for kids because it regulates your emotional behavior. So if you're finding yourself getting really angry, and ladies, this is not necessarily when we're talking about hormones, because that's a whole thing in itself. That's a whole nother chat. But when you find yourself getting really grumpy or really reactive, when people are contacting you, talking to you, work, home, whatever, could be you're coming from a really busy day and someone just asks one last thing of you and it snaps you. Is anybody with me? I feel like Andrew's like, I get that. Yep, I feel that. That emotional regulation, there's no strength left. It's gone. And even if you've had a habit of gratitude for 10 years, you can still snap. I still snap, I'm human. But my snapping takes a lot longer because of the prefrontal cortex development through gratitude. It's pretty cool. Very cool.
Britt, you
don't-
might touch on this.
Yeah, go. Yep.
What I find sometimes with things like this is that we can all do this, is that I'll do these things when I'm in a hole. Right. So life's good, dum, kaboom, I feel shit. And I feel low and I whatever. Now I need some new interventions to help me get out of the hole. And what I like about these is 60 minutes of breathing, 20 seconds of gratitude. I think if we just litter them into our lives, I think we strengthen that foundation that we have just to live life. And that when those things do test us, our base capacity is stronger, So like, don't wait until the hard time in your life to start doing some of this stuff. It's like, do it all the time.
And I think what you've touched on is such human behavior, Andrew. It's like we're so quick to put a band-aid on, or, okay, an example that I always find much easier as a metaphor is like, okay, you've gained 5 kilos. Okay, better sort my diet out. And it's like same with our mental health. Okay, I've gone down a hole. I better sort my gratitude or my breathing or my routine out. And what would it look like to be consistent but small? So some of you might have heard different speakers talk about like, where's your ceiling, where's your floor? So often we've got this ideal that I'd love to spend 10 minutes meditating or 10 minutes in gratitude or 10 minutes breathing, but we haven't set our floor. And if our floor is 60 seconds, our floor means that's what we do every day. We set our floor so easy that it almost feels dumb if we don't do it. You'll actually accidentally convince yourself to get closer to that 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, because it feels so good. And the body goes, I want more of it. Yeah, consistent but small. And so what actually happened to me is partway through my gratitude journey, I gave up. So I'd created this started all from a project of giving out like over 200 journals and getting people journaling and all this. There's a whole lot of history in behind what we've done and what we do. And I was sitting with a friend one day, and a bit like Andrew said, I was just like, nah, rock bottom, can't be bothered, this life sucks, whatever. And she said, why don't you just write one thing a day? And I said to her, no, I can't. She's like, okay. And Andrew probably find that funny, so will Amy, they've known me for years. No, type A, got to write a whole page, not doing that. If it's not all in, it's not happening. She was like, oh yeah, cool. How's that working out for you? And so that day I started applying this to more habits, right? You wouldn't just like not brush your teeth each day. I hope you wouldn't. That would be gross. So why would you not do 60 seconds of breathing and 60 seconds of gratitude to keep this healthy? Yeah, sure, your teeth are important, but my God, when your brain's not working, that's rough. If you've been there, you know. All right, so have a little workout for your prefrontal cortex and just gain strength every day. Because then one day you'll walk into the gratitude gym and you'll pick up those 20-kilo weights. And obviously I'm speaking metaphorically. And you'll be like, yeah, I'm so grateful. I got 20 things I'm grateful for, like that. And you would have dropped into your parasympathetic and calmed your nervous system so that you're far more focused and way less flighty. All right. There's just a couple of others. So gratitude, my faves, of the very long list I'd love to show you. Gratitude also reduces stress and anxiety. So if you've ever had anxiety, if you've got anxiety, or if you've had spats of anxiety, I've been there. Gratitude helps to reduce that because it's supporting the emotional regulation muscle in the brain. That's where anxiety hangs out to try and attack, right? It enhances your emotional resilience. So when you've got things that happen, rather than woe is me or oh my gosh, I'm going to die from this or whatever, you just go, okay, we'll figure it out. We'll be right. I'm not going to get overly emotional or overly angry or overly happy. It's just going to be calm. And the kicker, it improves sleep quality. Like how many people are out there looking for the sleep improvement, like, I don't know, matrix, where it's sleep drops or sleeping tablets or pills or teas, or there's all these things out there now. because we need sleep as humans. And so as a really grateful person with a really, I know, developed prefrontal cortex, I drop into sleep in about 60 seconds. That's actually possible for people. Andrew nearly got there in a 60-second meditation, right? So when we develop the prefrontal cortex, not only do we sleep quicker and deeper, but we sleep better and sounder. Who would like better sleep? Yeah, I thought so. Right. Now, there's all these myriad of other benefits across work and productivity, relationships, spiritual growth, resilience and life transit, all these things, right? All of this stuff has clinical research with brain studies that have had, anyway, I'm not going to bore you because that's next level stuff. Gratitude is not woo-woo, guys. Gratitude is really supportive of your parasympathetic nervous system, and it helps balance life in general. Makes sense. So going back to that consistency that we're talking about before, Andrew, this is what it could look like to do your 60 seconds of breathing or your 60 seconds of gratitude. So if you did 60 seconds in a day, you're looking at a whole 7 minutes a week you're giving up, a whole 30 minutes a month-ish. Some months have 31. And that's totally wrong, 365. Oh yeah, that's right. It's 365 minutes a year, right? So that's not actually that much time to have all those benefits. And if we were looking at an investment strategy for your mental health, I reckon it's worth it. I reckon you should do it. So my question to you all, and I could be making really terrible assumptions here, that you all spend more than 60 seconds on your phone in a day, or I could be making a really simple thought process here because most people do. But could you trade 60 seconds of that scroll time to simply write down what you're grateful for, or breathe, or both? So next time you find yourself resorting to that scroll for a bit of relaxation, I hope you hear my voice in your head. Oh, Brittany's watching me. She can see me. I should be doing something with gratitude or breathing. I can't remember, maybe both. Right. So if you did choose that pretty cool choice to trade 60 seconds a day, you're looking at your outcomes or your investment outcomes of this: reducing stress, increasing happiness, enhancing your emotional resilience, strengthening the relationships in your life. It really helps you connect better with yourself and with others, and improving your sleep. Pretty good idea. Then most people go, oh, but when would I do that? Some of you might be familiar with a bit of Tony Robbins' work, and he talks about net time, no extra time. Just give me a little nod or a wave if you've heard of that. No extra time. Yeah. So that's my favorite one for anybody starting a habit that's new, because if you can start it in no extra time, you have less excuses to start it. So when you jump in the shower, think of 60 seconds of something you're grateful for and do 60 seconds of breathing, and you're all done. That's you done for the day, right? When you jump in the car, you could think of things you're grateful for. When you're sitting around the table with your family, everybody could say something they're grateful for. I personally love the habit of writing it down because it holds me accountable to actually knowing I did it. But everybody's different. Some people have trauma from writing things down. Some people don't like writing things down. But every evening, my husband and I, before we hit the pillow, we write down 3 things we're grateful for each together in a journal together, and what we're praying for that's based on our faith. But we find that that is a beautiful way to bookend the day, and it also makes sure we've done it every day in a row. Make sure we've done it. And I mean, that's extreme. I've been doing this for 8-9 years now, but just writing one thing down on a notepad and a piece of paper in your phone, in your diary, in your calendar, wherever. Find an accountability buddy, text them each day. So many ways that can work. So we're nearly at the end of the content, and we can open up for questions too. But I really want to encourage you that anytime you go to something, not just this power hour, but it could be a workshop you've been to with Andrew, could be one of our workshops or something else you've been to, there are 2 types of people that leave any space. The ones who go, oh, that was nice, and they do nothing. or the ones who go, I actually can't ignore what I know now, and I'm going to do something with it. And out of this call, the do something might take you 2 minutes a day. So just to wrap it all up, and then we can open for some questions, is I encourage you to get curious and check in with your nervous system. Check in with where the balance is at. Then dedicate 60 seconds to be mindful in your breathing, because it's going to help that balance. It's going to help you bring them both into a better space and bring you into the presence of what life is. And find 60 seconds a day to practice some gratitude. So that is all from me, other than the fact that thank you for having me. We are the Gratitude Habit. And if you want to hear more from us, jump on our website. We've got workshops coming up, and we've got a cool email we send every fortnight to keep those thoughts around the science of gratitude alive in your mind. And obviously we're very close friends of Raw, so I'm sure you'll see us again at some point.
Nice. Thank you, Britt. Does anyone have any questions for Britt before we wrap it up? Don't be shy. Britt won't mind if you track her down, though, after this. No, just a massive thanks, Britt. Absolutely loved it. 60 seconds a day, consistent and small. This is not woo-woo. This is backed by science. These are things that you said that I've written down. Fitting that gratitude and breathing into our lives. What hit home for me, though, is that I saw all of our relationships that could benefit from bringing this into our lives. Firstly, the relationship with ourselves. Shit, we can be hard on ourselves. So I think taking a moment to be grateful for what you've got, what you bring, where you've got to, what you're proud of, I think that's healthy. And then in doing so, all of your important relationships in your life will benefit. Better mum, better dad, better sister, brother, leader, all those things, partner, husband, wife, whatever. So this shit matters. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. You see Britt's details there. Get her into your organisation. It might be something that's just really cool to get a group from your workplace or your team together to get Britt to lead you through some of this stuff in more detail. It could be as short as an hour, I presume, but she's got longer workshops and things that Britt can come in and help your organisations with. Yeah, a little bit of final admin from me, but again, thanks again, Britt. Awesome. Our next Power Hour is at the end of May. We've got Carly Boast from Lawview coming in. Lawview is a tech company based in Tauranga that is now all around the world. They've won awards for world-class employee experience and being employers of choice. So her topic is going to be how to create a world-class employee experience, which I think will be pretty cool. And the next thing coming up at Raw is on the 29th of May, we have our Leadership Fundamentals Workshop. That workshop is our most popular workshop. It's been created because lots of leaders, they've been good at their job, they're promoted to a role of leadership, often given no training or support to make that transition. You'll learn as you go, right? And it can take a long time to learn. So that one day, highly practical, experiential, delivered in our real and down-to-earth style, and we get a lot of good feedback about it. So you will get a follow-up email about this, which has a recording of today's call. It also has some details about that leadership fundamentals. But yeah, please don't hesitate to track any of us down. But yeah, thank you for joining us today. Yeah, thank you for giving us your time. Thanks for coming to hang out. Hope you enjoyed it. Always open to any feedback. But other than that, enjoy the rest of your Friday and have a lovely weekend. Yeah. Thanks for hanging out. Later. Thank you. Bye-bye. Go well. Yeah. Nice.